Neesterhere, welcome back to another video. So today I have a different kind of Incredibox video for you today. This isn't just another basic review. It's technically 5. I thought what a fun way to kind of mix things up a little bit, kind of create some new kind of diversity on this channel, would be to do a simple top 5 of my worst ever Incredibox mods, in my opinion. So what I did was I looked through all the mods, I did a bit of research on what I personally thought were the bad ones, not just good ones that have some shitty elements to it, but truly mods that either completely fuck their potential or they are just a complete waste of time and not even worth talking about. Now the catch of this is that I did not include any joke mods or spin-offs because that would just, come on. I am only going to be counting real attempts at actual mods, and that is what we're going to be basing this off today. So without wasting any more time, let's just get straight into this shit. Number 5! Up first at number 5, we have one that technically doesn't count because A, it's irrelevant, and B, because it's technically a cheating thing because it's a tie. But for number 5 on the worst mods of all time list, I am giving that to both Red and Orange from Colorbox pre-update. These two mods are both kind of tied as being like not only the worst of Colorbox by a fucking landslide if you don't count Brown, but just in general, they were the first ones, and so they kind of just pissed me off more than anything. The idea of Colorbox, fun, crazy, weird, quirky idea that I really enjoyed the whole concept, but the first proof of action I saw was Red and Orange, and yeah, that did not spark any hope at all until Yellow just came through and redeemed the whole fucking thing right there. Since then, obviously, the creator has made a bunch of mods and a bunch of bangers at that. I think genuinely his worst mod is still like a A tier or like a B tier. That just tells you some crazy shit. To the point where he literally went back and remade Orange and Red to have everything fit better more. And nowadays, it's fucking ballin'. Red and Orange kick ass. But at the time of release, they were definite stinkers, lads. They were definite stinkers. Red was just a giant mess that didn't mean anything. It didn't have its own vibe. It didn't really have its own flavor. It kind of just felt like a bunch of sounds. Orange was a little bit better because it knew what it wanted to be, but it was way more boring than Red. Like, you could see why I tied these together because there just isn't like a clear, obvious, this one is dog shit more than the other. But like I said, though, that is all completely out the fucking window because they have been updated and now they're bowling. So hey, there's my number 5 for you. Number 4! Number 4 is going to be a hot take that I'm not too sure that a lot of people are actually going to be able to predict, just because I would say that it's a series that I am heavily involved in, if that makes sense. And this is, by the way, I have to say this as well, this is no disrespect to any creator featured here. This literally is just my jet black opinions on the mod themselves. The creators, I don't fucking care. Number 4 on my list, shockingly enough, goes to Corruptbox 3. Corruptbox 1 and 2 were fucking incredible, lads. They were really good mods that had a fun kind of spin-off of Oraneo, took the whole thing in a whole new direction. Instead of focusing on more horror, Corruptbox kind of went for more like a sci-fi route, especially like as it kept going on. I'd say that the first Corruptbox was pretty straightforward, scary horror type shit, but 2 and 3 were just like a sci-fi craziness of bullshit. Corruptbox 1 was great. Corruptbox 2 is even better because now it got you even hyped for this giant epic conclusion that's on the way, and then Corruptbox 3 came out and oh my god, it fucking sucks. Corruptbox 3 does this amazing thing where it literally just turns into a book because there is so much lore. Not only does each character have a fucking thesis statement as their entire biography, but even the bonuses and little Easter eggs were literally just reading. It's just paragraphs reading. It didn't feel like an Incredibox mod, it felt like a fucking book. And then you're sitting there thinking to yourself, okay, well maybe, you know, they just went too heavy on the lore. The actual game itself, the music side, probably kicks ass. No. I would honestly say that Corruptbox is one of the worst when it comes to the actual music part because it so obviously felt like an afterthought to the actual story. Every single sound is like not finished to the point where it is just blastingly loud. None of the sounds mix. Everything, the volume is cranked to hell and back. Everything sounds like ear grating shit. So when you have a mod that A, the sound is garbage, and B, the lore is garbage, that leads you to a pretty stinking fucking mod, you know. But why is it this at number 4 and not 1, just because of my own personal biases. I really do enjoy the story that was told with Corruptbox. It did get a bit repetitive, it did get a bit drawn out and heavily stretched, but at the end of the day though, it was a cool take on the overall concept of Oraneo. Like, it was not a bad idea by any stretch. 1 and 2 are fucking crystal clear examples why that's true. But for some fucking reason, man, when he made 3, he completely dropped the ball on the entire idea of what is supposed to be another installment of Corruptbox. Like I said, the only reason it's up here this high is just because I do enjoy the story. It just goes on for way too fucking much. Up next at number 3, number 3 and number 2 are really similar to me. It doesn't really stand out as like obviously fucking garbage as number 1 is on this list, but 2 and 3, you can kind of interchange them. They're not really different in any kind of crazy way. Number 3! But at number 3, we have Meno. Now, Meno gets to have the beautiful opportunity of being the mod that I give the fuck about the least. Meno overall, from like a design standpoint, like the way it looks, I do enjoy. That is, you know, not terrible, but in terms of the sound and of the music, lads, I gotta be 100% honest with you when I say that this is one of the most boring, most forgettable, most just drab mods of all damn time. Like, I feel bad because this did feel like a real good attempt, you know what I mean? Like, this didn't feel like it was just lazily slapped together. This feels like it was an actual passionate thing that a person who genuinely was interested in making mods created. But I just feel like it misses everything that an Incredibox mod should be. There is nothing to it. To get it out of the way, there is no lore to fall back on, because you could excuse a mod if it has bitchin' lore but a terrible music side of it. You could excuse it for that, but the music as a whole is just so bland, sandpaper beige, to the point where it is just, it's probably the most forgettable mod on here. I put Colorbox Red and Orange higher than this because Colorbox Red and Orange at least had a creative theme, a creative idea behind it, and Corruptbox 3, all being probably a worse mod technically than Meno is, at least had some kind of like passion or ambition behind it, while Meno just feels like the most paint by numbers, generic, boring ass thing of all time. Like I said, no disrespect to the creator, but for some reason this mod, man, just never sat right with me. The second I played it, I immediately knew, yeah, this is a stinker, it's a dud, it's definitely an F tier, but it's not like insultingly bad, it's just, what am I supposed to do with this? Number 2 on my list is really a razor thin difference between 3 and 2. It's practically identical, honest to God, in terms of my reasons and just overall opinion on them. And that is Outage. I'm pretty sure that Meno and Outage were actually made by the same people, and I feel so horrible for that, but I gotta be real with you, I'm not gonna lie about it, it's true. No. Pretty much take everything I said about Meno, but take away the kind of cool vibe that it had, because at least Meno is like appealing to look at, while I feel like Outage just is nothing. It is just the definition of a bland, forgettable, boring as shit mod. And it's not even the fact that like they're chill mods, because you can have a chill mod and have it be fucking heat. This was chill, but to the point of just boring. It left me with nothing. The designs did nothing for me to stand out. It just genuinely had nothing to it, man. Like, it's just, I don't know how to describe it without just sounding like a broken record, but it really is just a worse version of Meno. It's the same thing. It is just a bland, forgettable, boring, paint by numbers thing that just means nothing. Damn, man. I want to see this creator get redeemed like Colorbox did. Now, before we get to number 1, we do have some honorable mentions that I still would like to discuss. These aren't mods that are like bad necessarily, but they just have one thing in it that just pissed me off to no end. So I'm just gonna kind of blow through these a little bit. Augury by RB Series, however you're supposed to pronounce that. It's not like a shit mod by any means, but like it is very boring, especially knowing that like the creator himself is a jackass. But not only that, but the creator himself actually does know what he's doing in terms of making good mods, because the guy created Armed, which is my favorite mod of all time. So not only is the creator a giant dickhead, but he also does genuinely have the talent to make some fire shit, and he just kind of missed with this one. Incredibox it's a fun mod. It's not terrible by any means, but the creator just completely ruins the entire vibe of it, dude, just in every way. You can't enjoy this mod without feeling like an asshole. Yubaniku, it's okay. From a design wise, it fucking aces this shit. Like, this has one of the most detailed polo lineups of all time, but the lore, man, just felt so like secondhand cringe. Like, it felt like it was just trying to be so fucking abnormally dark, which it did accomplish that. I would consider that to be the darkest, scariest mod, technically, I guess, ever made. But, like, it just felt so try-hardy, and it just kind of made me bummed out and not really, like, I didn't care. The second that I was done editing and the second that I was done filming it, I practically never wanted to see it again, to the point where I remember that I actually audibly groaned when I found out that it was getting a sequel. Downtown, not a bad mod, really, by any stretch of the imagination. The only reason why I have it on here as an honorable mention is just because, similar to kind of Meno and Outage, it didn't really have, like, its own vibe to me. Like, this is a professional mod made by a team of people who know what the fuck they're doing, but to me, it didn't seem like it had its own flavor, its own vibe. It kind of just felt like it was copying real official Incredibox to a fucking T, to the point where it didn't have its own feeling to it. It just kind of seemed like it was just like a, hey, can I copy your homework? Like I said, not bad, just very unoriginal, I would say. Distance, it's made by the same guy who made Meno and Outage, but this one is a bit better than the other two. It's definitely a step up, but I still would say that it's just kind of boring. Who cares? Up next, we got Express. This is just another mod that I just feel like is really just kind of bland, boring, forgettable. I'm joking, by the way. I'm just completely full of shit. And the last honorable mention before we get to our official number one is going to be Steampunks. It is one of the most just kind of messy, thrown together, kind of slappy mods I've ever seen. If slappy is a word for you, like an adjective, I guess. I don't know. I didn't put it on the official top 5 just because it didn't really piss me off on like a personal level like the other guys did. Also, doesn't even remotely have a steampunk theme. It is literally filled with robots and cyborgs, and the fucking thing is called steampunk. Don't know why. And now my opinion for the worst Incredibox mod of all time goes to Molly-Glob. Now, this is a mod that I played time ago, and I would still say that as of right now, it's yet to be beat, but I would say that this is probably my least favorite mod of all time. Everything about this is not good in my eyes. The colors are just so drab and boring. The designs as well are just awful to look at. It just looks really unprofessional just because it has a fucking PNG of me and Mr. Beast from a Freshie Canal video just chilling there as well. It's not even finished. Not every sound effect is even there and ready. The sound is, well, the overall just vibe. I can only describe it as slightly better elevator music. And on top of that, it looks like shit. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that literally. It looks like a fucking turd. Everything has this disgusting brown, yellow, green sludge kind of vibe to it. And oh my god, it just, what happened here? For a long time, this was my least favorite mod. Some mods have certainly pissed me off more. Like Incredibox 3, I think, angered me more than Molly-Glob did, but just Molly-Glob just missed the mark in every fucking way, and it's the only one on this list that I genuinely cannot give you a single positive for. Every single thing that I named on here at least had something cool with it, you know what I mean? Red and Orange was a badass concept. Incredibox 3 told a really good story. Meno and Outage at least had an idea and a passion behind them, it kind of felt like, where Molly-Glob just felt like it was bullshit. None of the sounds really work together. They're all just kind of just generic, boring ass, quiet sounds. It's not a chill mod, it's a boring mod. There is a difference, believe it or not. I would love to be able to reach out to the creators of the mods that I've mentioned in this video and just be like, bro, please for the love of God, try again and just go nuts with it, bro, because it fucking genuinely pisses me off when people make mods that suck, because I just feel like there's so many good ones that, like, everyone has that potential to make some fucking mega cheese. But some people just simply haven't, in my opinion. Some people just haven't cracked the code and made some ballin' shit, and that's what I really want them to try to do more of. But I'm going to end it off right there. So what did you think of my list? Do you think it was all complete bullshit, or do you think I was right on the money? So if you enjoyed this kind of content, then the buttons are down there. You know what to do, and have a good one. So goodbye. See ya!